Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. So today we're doing something, well, a little bit different. Usually when we talk about massive viral hits, we just watch the content, maybe talk about the visuals and move on. But today we're actually going to deconstruct a viral sensation's digital footprint using literally nothing but the raw page data it left behind. We've managed to capture the pure, textual skeleton of a wildly popular YouTube short, and we're going to dissect it, piece by piece, to see exactly how virality is manufactured behind the scenes. So get ready. Welcome to the anatomy of a hit, decoding the Bunny Man.
Which, of course, immediately begs a pretty fascinating question, right? What does a viral internet mystery actually look like in raw data? Well, I want you to think of us as digital detectives today. We aren't going to get distracted by the spooky audio or, the flashy animations of the content itself. Instead, we're looking incredibly closely at the exact text, the underlying code, and the user interface elements that wrap entirely around it. We're stripping away the shiny veneer of this urban legend to see exactly how this specific piece of media lives, breathes, and absolutely thrives on the platform's architecture.
Okay, let's dive into this and trace the very beginning of the user journey. Think about how this starts. Someone is just looking for a broad, general fright, so they type in a pretty wide search query: scary stories, animated shorts. They cast a huge net. But the platform, it doesn't just hand them generic noise. Oh no, it serves up an exact, highly targeted result: the Bunny Man, American urban legend. It's incredible. This perfectly illustrates the absolute power of search intent matching. The algorithm completely understands that broad desire and then surgically pairs it with a highly specific, categorized piece of media to just instantly hook the viewer's attention.
So who exactly is the architect of this perfectly matched content? Well, it's the creator, @Dr. Philman. This single username serves as the absolute central anchor for what is an enormous digital footprint. In the vast, chaotic ocean of the internet, this one specific handle actually managed to capture lightning in a bottle. It's just a really powerful reminder that behind every massive algorithmic wave we see online, there is a creator, a singular point of origin who is out there actively curating the experience, packaging the narrative, and pushing it out into the digital ether.
But how exactly did @Dr. Philman signal to this incredibly complex algorithm to pick up their specific video? Well, the raw data reveals their exact hooks: horror stories, terrifying tales, scary, America, and mystery. And this brilliantly illustrates how modern creators are essentially speaking directly to the platform's machine learning. Right? Like, these aren't just fun little descriptions for the viewer to read, they are highly precise data hooks. By combining broad, high-traffic tags like scary with thematic or geographical ones like mystery and America, the creator weaves this highly effective web. They're trying to catch exactly the kind of viewer who typed in that initial broad search query we just talked about.
Now, let's look at the actual impact of all that targeted algorithmic engineering. The source data maps out a staggering engagement funnel. We start with this towering, massive baseline of nearly 2.5 million views, 2,456,809 to be totally exact. But look at how dramatically those numbers plummet as you move down the funnel. We drop to just 27,000 likes, and comments? A microscopic 960. So, the crucial takeaway here is that this beautifully visualizes the incredibly passive nature of consuming short-form content. Millions of people will literally just let a video wash over them on their screens. A tiny, tiny fraction will actually double-tap to like it, and only a fraction of a percent will break their scrolling trance long enough to type out a comment. It is the ultimate high-volume, low-friction engagement model.
Then, right amidst all these massive performance metrics, the source text spits out this highly specific, kind of mysterious data point: June 2nd, 2025. Like, what is this? Is it the original publish date, a scheduled premiere, or maybe an algorithmic timestamp of when this particular data snapshot was ripped from the archive? In the world of raw page data, timestamps like this are basically the ultimate digital breadcrumbs. They force us to ask some really critical questions about the timeline of viral content. Does an American urban legend video like the Bunny Man just explode into millions of views overnight? Or does it slowly, quietly gather momentum in the dark corners of the algorithm, waiting for a specific date to finally go critical? Honestly, it adds this fantastic layer of temporal mystery to the whole analysis.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how the seamless, magical illusion of internet consumption suddenly just breaks. Right in the middle of analyzing this massive viral reach, our raw data dump captured a precise, totally jarring quote: "Sign in to confirm you're not a bot." Just as a piece of media goes supernova and reaches millions upon millions of screens, boom, the platform's automated security guardrails slam down hard. It's a fascinating reminder that we aren't just looking at a passive broadcast medium. This is a highly monitored, fiercely protected, closed ecosystem that is constantly trying to verify who or what is actually doing the watching.
And
how exactly does the platform justify that sudden, annoying interruption to the user? With this simple, literal UI prompt we found buried in the text. This helps protect our community. Let's zoom out here for a second and look at the macro picture, because this is absolutely crucial. Why does this matter? Because it highlights the platform's central, ongoing conflict. On one hand, they absolutely want hypervirality, right? They thrive on serving 2.5 million views to a video about the Bunny Man. But on the exact same hand, that hypervirality acts like a giant magnet for automated spam, fake engagement, and server-draining bots. This single line of text perfectly captures the immense friction between encouraging unbridled reach and trying to maintain a functional, human-driven digital ecosystem.
And sometimes, despite all that incredibly sophisticated technology, the algorithm matching, the intense bot protection, the whole thing just falls apart in the most frustratingly mundane way possible. Literally buried right there in the source code of a video with nearly 2.5 million views is this glorious quote, "Your browser can't play this video." It's wonderfully ironic, isn't it? I mean, here we have a mega hit, an absolute juggernaut of calculated algorithmic success, and yet the fundamental delivery system, the streaming media player itself, can still be so incredibly fragile. A minor browser update, a tiny connection drop, and suddenly the terrifying viral Bunny Man is completely defeated by a blank screen and a standard error code. No way.
But wait, it actually doesn't stop there. The data shows that if you try to participate in the virality, say you want to send this sensation to a friend, you might just hit another brick wall. Quote, "An error occurred while retrieving sharing information. Please try again later." It just builds on that ironic twist so perfectly. We are analyzing a piece of content mathematically engineered to be shared, aggressively optimized with hashtags, and successfully blasted out to millions of people. Yet the actual physical user experience can abruptly crash into these incredibly basic UI glitches. It completely pulls back the curtain, reminding us that the sleek, modern internet we use every single day is in a lot of ways still very much held together by digital duct tape. Which brings us to our final, lingering thought for this explainer. Think about it. When a digital legend breaks the video player, who is really in control here? Is it the creator, the algorithm, or the glitches? We started today by looking at a creator named @DrFilman who carefully crafted a hit using precise tags. We saw a powerful algorithm that perfectly matched a search query and pushed that content to 2.5 million people. And then we saw the underlying system just trip over its own shoelaces with bot checks and mundane playback errors. The ecosystem of viral content isn't a straight, smooth line. It is wildly chaotic. So as you go about consuming content today, I challenge you to look past the media itself. Notice the machinery wrapping around it. Notice the strategic tags, those sudden security prompts, the occasional frustrating errors. It is a fascinating, heavily flawed machine, and honestly, understanding exactly how it works makes being a digital citizen so much more interesting. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.